Good morning, everyone. How are we all doing? Welcome to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. My name is Graham Day. How are you doing? I'm joined by the man that we call Bibi, who's looking pretty suave in his polo shirt. I'm sat here with a t-shirt and a basketball jersey from the lovely people at !insert coin. And Bibi's there full on polo shirt. Is today a golf day, Bib?
It most certainly is, and I've definitely put this on far too early because it's thicker than a normal t-shirt, and I am still melting 6 days on. So yeah,
Oh,
it's not great.
we appreciate you dressing up, impressing on the scoop.
Cheers,
It's
mate.
nice, nice.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome into twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. If you don't know who we are, I did just mention it, but I'll say it again. I got you. My name's Graham. This is Bib. We are Ice Cream Uploads, and in true ice creamy fashion, this is the Scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast, if we do say so ourselves. Anyway, we are here to give you our thoughts and our impressions on the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the world of video games. We want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. So if you are in the chat, please feel free to get involved. We do turn this live stream into a podcast. So we go live on Twitch at 10 a.m. ish. It's 11:35, 25 to 12. Better than yesterday. We'll take that. So we go live on Twitch at 10 a.m.-ish each and every single weekday. That live stream is turned into a podcast, a video on YouTube, and an audio podcast on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Lots of places where people can watch and listen on demand, but they don't get to get involved in the chat each and every single day, just like you guys can do on their behalf. So please, please feel free to do so. Before we jump into today's news, and today's news is actually pretty deep. Yesterday's was deep, but that was on a PES scale, because we're all passionate about PES. I mean, some of us are. I mean, me and Bib are, but obviously some of the people in the chat are passionate about PES. So it's nice to have some deep conversations. Today's deep conversations are a completely different level of deep. But if anyone does want to jump back into PES conversations after we've got through the 4 news articles today, maybe we could jump on that towards the end, but we may not have enough time, depending on how things go with the first story. Before all that, though, Bib, kind of warm in these rhinos.
It is. Nice analogy.
Yeah, it's pretty warm in Manchester today. So yesterday, I was going to jump on and play some PUBG in the afternoon, and it was just ridiculously warm. I tested my Xbox crossover capability with one of the people in the chat, Chaos Theory 330. I thought it was 360. Do you know? Is it always 330 or is it 360? I don't know now. Anyway, me, Chaos, West, and I think it was Drew, all jumped in to, or maybe Drew was just later on. I can't remember. Either way, anyway, we jumped in some games. I was playing on PlayStation, they were all on Xbox, so I tested streaming on PlayStation or playing on my PC. I wasn't streaming it, but then joining the Xbox game bar on PC so I can pretend that I was an Xbox player, and it worked. Nice. So I did the same thing last night. So yes, I was going to jump on a stream yesterday afternoon, evening, but it was just ridiculous. In this room, it was ridiculous. So that you can just about see the fan there behind me. That's pointed fixed at me. And it's crazy in this room. So yeah, there may not be another stream today after this one, because in Manchestershire we're getting over 30 degrees today. So yikes.
It's 30 degrees outside, but it feels like it's double that inside the houses. I mean, I've seen people on Twitter having a go at people over in the UK because it's 30 degrees and they can't handle it. I don't think the rest of the world knows that we don't have air conditioning in the houses. We have to go out and buy fans, and the fans are not air conditioning units. It's like we have radiators. A lot of countries don't because it's so fucking warm. Why would you need a radiator? But I mean, we just can't win.
We get that conversation, like you see it every year. Someone will share the story. Like, usually you first get it around April, and then someone else shares it as if they've just come up with this gem of the story in June, and then maybe again in July, and then again in August. But basically, you'll see the conversation, and it usually says, in the UK, houses are built to keep the heat in, and then it goes on from there in terms of we have like brick / cement / whatever buildings that we have no aircon and this, that, and the other, and it's absolutely true. Yeah, last night, me and Danielle, we don't have armchairs. We have a 3-seater couch and a 2-seater couch in our living room. So we were debating whether we should sleep on the couches last night downstairs with the door open rather than upstairs, because the upstairs in this house is just crazy. The heat just goes through it. But anyway, do you know what would be more British than spending a full hour of a podcast just talking about the weather? But we'll do that another time. Not today. Today, though, we are talking about some things that are a little bit more serious than that. You may have seen it. It's all over social media this morning. But Activision Blizzard is being taken to court. is it? Yeah, the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing is taken to court as a result of their toxic workplace culture. So that is something that we will jump into as we kick things off. We'll then go back into a story that we did have shared on the stream yesterday by Luke Bastille in the chat. Amazon responds to claims that their new MMO, New World. God, there's too many words that were close to each other then. So New World is a new MMO from Amazon, and there are claims that it's bricking RTX 3090 graphics cards. Amazon has responded to that. Netflix has confirmed it is expanding into games, starting with mobile games. And then finally, does anybody want a copy of Battlefield for free? We got you. We got you. We'll jump into that a little bit later on. But Bib, this is usually where I'd set you up with some sort of cheesy hook into the main story. Obviously, I'm going to hold back on the cheesiness because of the seriousness of this. But Activision Blizzard says something that allows me to change the title. I don't even know how I set this up. Usually I'd be like, so, would you like to something with Activision Blizzard? And Bibby would go, oh, yes, I would like to Activision Blizzard something. But fucking what a situation. Do you know what, Bib?
I don't think it needs a setup.
Yeah, I did it while I was kind of doing the situation. So yeah, nice. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Let's jump into the split screen so we're all good for the news. But this is. There we go. This is the first story of the day, written by Peter GLAGOWSKI at The Game. California is suing Activision Blizzard over an alleged frat boy culture. The California Department of Fair Employment and Housing is suing Activision Blizzard over its toxic work culture. Activision Blizzard has come under fire today after a report from Bloomberg News revealed information of a new lawsuit filed by the state of California Department of Fair Employment and Housing against the gaming giant as a result of a 2-year investigation into the workplace culture that is cultivated at the House of Call of Duty. The DFEH found that Activision Blizzard regularly discriminated against female employees in a number of areas, including employment, compensation, assignment, promotion, and termination. The complaint, which was filed this Tuesday in the Los Angeles Superior Court, alleges that Activision Blizzard has a, quote, pervasive frat boy workplace culture, and mentions something called, quote, cube crawl, that male employees regularly engage in. This is described as the men drinking, quote, copious amounts of alcohol as they crawl their way through various cubicles in the office and often engage in inappropriate behavior towards female employees. Fuck. The following statements in the report include some disturbing material. There will be a trigger warning for the following topics: sexual assault, rape, and suicide. So I will heed that trigger warning here just for everyone listening or watching on the video services. If you don't want to hear any stories of sexual assault, rape, or suicide, depending on how much detail is in this article, they are not very nice stories. So if you don't want to listen to that sort of stuff, you might want to mute or come back in 10 minutes or so, because depending on how much detail they give in this story, it's shit. I'm going to continue. The DFEH also alleges that male employees regularly play video games during the workday while shifting responsibilities onto female employees, as well as engaging in sexual banter and joking about rape. Female employees interviewed allege that Activision Blizzard has held them back from promotions on the grounds that they might get pregnant, has openly criticised them for picking up their children from daycare, and that the higher-ups kick them out of the lactation rooms so that men could hold meetings. The women interviewed by the DFEH worked within the World of Warcraft team and alleged that male supervisors and staff members hit on them, made derogatory comments about rape, and engaged in demeaning behaviour. The suit also includes an incident where a female employee took her own life while on a company trip with her male supervisor. She had been subjected to sexual harassment for an undisclosed amount of time, which included having nude photos passed around at a holiday party. The DFEH is seeking an injunction that will force Activision Blizzard to comply with workplace protections and deliver unpaid wages, pay adjustments, back pay, and lost wages / benefits to its female employees. At the time of writing, Activision Blizzard has not made any public comment on the lawsuit, and Bloomberg has not received any word back. Do you know what? For the sake of easy content, I know that it's probably not the best thing. Sometimes if you're covering some of the most horrendous stories in the world. You kind of want to expose it, warts and all. I will say there are warts and all to be discovered in this story, some of which is in our Discord. We've started having conversations on that this morning. Exclamation mark Discord in the chat if anyone wants that link, by the way. We may go over those details as we go through, but at least just for the introduction, if that is something that is a bit of a trigger for you, then at least you know that, yeah, we haven't had that there. But once again, fair warning, there could be more details shared as we go through this conversation. Anyway, babe, a lot of fucking horrendous content mentioned within that article. Activision Blizzard has a I don't even know if the word toxic covers it. I know toxic is meant to be the most extreme negative, but toxic, like the word legend, has been watered down on social media to mean toxic is good. Could someone just been a bit of a dick? It's been a bit toxic. But in its truest sense of the word, toxic work culture, Activision Blizzard, what are your thoughts?
It's where do you even start with something like this? It's just another dent in the massive fucking scrap pile that is Activision and Blizzard. Like, we've had this. Well, this has been for the last 2 years at least, but it's gone on way longer than that. The term frat house never does it never does justice to what a lot of people are saying about this, because they're just making it sound like it's an all boys club, which it probably absolutely is. I have no idea what the staff how it's split down versus gender, but this is not a good look for anybody, and especially the people who are having to put up with this on a daily basis. Like, we already know there's like a gender pay gap within the entire industry as it is, and this is just doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down on everything. That's like, they're just treating the opposite gender as someone who is someone on work experience, which obviously isn't great either for someone who's probably been there longer than them. It's just like treating them like the tea boys. Do you know what I mean? Like the water boys, the very bottom of the bottom, even though they're probably doing a hell of a lot more than they are. They're just treating it like it's a holiday camp, and that is for a multi-billion-dollar company not right. And it's in this, because there's so many articles that I've read on this morning. I've tried to choose the one that, like you said, is not watered down but readable, because there is a lot more to this. That if you are interested in finding out exactly what has gone on, there is a lot more out there. Jason Schreier from Bloomberg. I wanted to put the Bloomberg one in, but it's a website that you have to pay to read, and I am not paying to read media from any outlet. So a lot of other
By the way,
articles
subscribe to twitch.tv to support us for our content. Hey.
No, I mean, a lot of the Bloomberg stuff I don't it sometimes shows a bias, and I'm not interested in that, which is why we show so many different articles from different outlets on this show rather than just having a Bloomberg one. But Jason Stride did a really good piece over there that a lot of people have been referring to. He's taken a lot out of his articles because he knows that people can't read them, and posted them on Twitter. So if you want to do a full deep dive, there is other articles out there which I actually absolutely encourage you to go and read, because the stuff that we've touched on here is just the tip of the iceberg. This goes all the way down. And it is horrific. Like, I don't know how much of this we actually want to say, because I don't know how much of it. I don't know what SoundCloud's policy is. I don't know what Twitch's policy is. I don't know what YouTube's policy is, and I don't know whether or not it will get taken down. But yeah, I would absolutely encourage you to go and read some of the stuff that people have been having to go through, because it's not a good look for the company. It's not good for the people who are obviously receiving this. It's not good for anybody. And hopefully the people who are doing this sort of stuff and forcing these people out, and in one case, someone having to take their own life, not good, not great at all. So I would absolutely encourage you, learn about how we can, well, I say the people who are doing this aren't human beings. Let's put it that way. They're not, they are people who were probably middle of their class, but they are super popular, and they think that they can take that trend along with them to all these other workplaces who probably house the same people, and then it just ends up going from there. But they are not human beings. They are demeaning every single person that has been there that isn't on their level, shall we say. So yeah, I would absolutely encourage you to go and read everything that you possibly can on this, because as a whole, we need to do better.
100%. Speaking of reading everything, I'm going to pause for just a second to jump back up, just to welcome everyone in. Madge, Gagad, Sammy J, all in nice and early. How are you all doing? Chaos Theory, I mean, I'd shout you out, hey, how you doing? Mr. Gallic Clarkson, Next Gen Base says, not going to lie, the EA Play stream tonight is going to be a shweddy one. Just a little bit. So those that may have seen it last night, we did tweet from Ice Cream Applause last night that myself, Bib, Next Gen Base in the chat, and Mr. Asim Tanvir himself will all be on stream tonight from 6 p.m. in this balls sweaty room. So feel free to join us in this feel free to join us live on Twitch tonight from 6 p.m. ish as us four watch along through the EA Play Live pre-show and then through the main show. Gary says 30 degrees here is brutal. Humidity plus houses that are made for winter equals brutality. I was sweating like Stevie Wonder at a darts competition last night. Garyism. And there you go. Gary with the houses that are made for winter stuff. Nice. You go with the article I shared in the early hours this morning. I don't even know what to say about this story. It's just fucking awful. Absolutely. This is full on horrible. I happen to still be awake and saw via Steph Sterling, a company who okayed the infamous fight against grenade spam promotional video has a toxic work culture. I'm shocked. Shocked. Well, not that shocked, says Next Gen Base. Mr. T says, this is genuinely horrid. The people letting this happen and not saying anything are just as bad. I believe Activision responded with, quote, irresponsible behaviour from unaccountable state bureaucrats that is driving many of the state's businesses out of California. Sounds like they're doubling down so they can get to fuck, says Next Gen Base. Next Gen Base then also gives us a link to a Kotaku news article, which is the reason why I was building it up through the chat, because I've just opened up that article. I haven't seen this, so I'm reading through this for the first time with you guys. But this is a Kotaku article saying Activision Blizzard sued by California over widespread harassment of women, written for Kotaku by Luke Plunkett, as you can see there on the screen. I would assume, and feel free to read through it yourself just to confirm, but I would assume that the majority of this article will be the same sort of stuff we've just been through, the horrendous cubicle crawling or whatever it was called, people being neglected based on, it does mention further examples of the alleged treatment of mothers and black employees have been added to the story, so not just sex but gender. Not sex but gender, but race as well. So, yeah, GG's fucking Activision. It's getting worse. That was obviously an ironic GG's, not. Just wanted to confirm because it's fucking horrendous. Anyway, the reason we are here is this update to the article. Activision has responded to the DFEH's suit with a lengthy statement that calls the DFEH and its suit irresponsible behaviour from unaccountable state bureaucrats. Okay, let's jump into this. This could be interesting. We value diversity and strive to foster a workplace that offers inclusivity for everyone. There is no place in our company or industry or any industry for sexual misconduct or harassment of any kind. We take every allegation seriously and investigate all claims. In cases related to misconduct, action was taken to address the issue. The DFEH includes distorted and in many cases false descriptions of Blizzard's past. We have been extremely cooperative with the DFEH throughout their investigation, including providing them with extensive data and ample documentation, but they refused to inform us what issues they perceived. They were required by law to adequately investigate and to have good faith discussions with us to better understand and to resolve any claims or concerns before going to litigation, but they failed to do so. Instead, they rushed to file an inaccurate complaint, as we will demonstrate in court. We are sickened by the reprehensible conduct of the DFEH to drag into the complaint the tragic suicide of an employee whose passing has no bearing whatsoever on this case and with no regard for her grieving family. While we find this behaviour to be disgraceful and unprofessional, it is unfortunately an example of how they have conducted themselves throughout the course of their investigation. It is this type of irresponsible behaviour from unaccountable state bureaucrats that are driving many of the state's best businesses out of California. The picture of the DFEH paints is not the Blizzard workplace of today. Over the past several years, and continuing since the initial investigation started, we've made significant changes to address company culture and reflect more diversity within our leadership teams. We've updated our code of conduct to emphasise a strict retaliation focus, should I say, amplified internal programs and channels for employees to report violations, including the Ask list with a confidential integrity hotline, and introduced an employee relations team dedicated to investigating employee concerns. We have strengthened our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and combined our employee networks at a global level to provide additional support. Employees must also undergo regular anti-harassment training and have done so for many years. We put tremendous effort in creating fair and rewarding compensation packages and policies that reflect our culture and business, and we strive to pay all employees fairly for equal or substantially similar work. We take a variety of proactive steps to ensure that pay is driven by non-discriminatory factors. For example, we reward and compensate employees based on their performance, and we conduct extensive anti-discrimination trainings, including for those who are part of the compensation process. We are confident in our ability to demonstrate our practices as an equal opportunity employer that fosters a supportive, diverse, and inclusive workplace for our people, and we are committed to continuing this effort in the years to come. It's a shame that the DFEH did not want to engage with us on what they thought they were seeing in this investigation. Interesting.
They just need to start from the bottom. In fact, this is the chance now for the people who have known that this has gone on for so long and not said anything, for them to come about and just start. It's not even throwing accusations. It's literally to try and throw the people who have been doing it under the bus. Now is their time to so-called shine and try and get to the very root of this. Like, this is beyond something that we can probably comprehend, because I will never experience something like this, I don't think, because I am not a female, and they're the ones that seem to catch most of the flack. So this is the time for people who have seen this going on for so long to throw the other fuckers underneath the bus and start from the bottom and get rid of it, and then do what they need to do to try and make that a safe environment, whether or not that means calling in the police, someone facing prison time for the horrible things that they've ended up doing for someone. I genuinely have no idea. I can't comprehend it, and that's a worrying thing. But yeah, it just needs to get out of the rot and start again.
See, what I would be tempted to do here, for the interest of balance in a podcast, would be play devil's advocate in terms of, okay, what if Activision are telling the truth? What if this story has been blown out of proportion and misrepresented? What if someone whose suicide wasn't publicized heavily is now being publicized without their real desire for that to be the case? But I can't take that step, because this whole story is about the mistreatment of individuals. That's what it is at its core. And in all of that, all they have said is this is not true. They have not, there's no form of acknowledgement. There's no form of saying, do you know what? We get where this is coming from. This isn't true for us. We will share this. We will fight to prove this. We do, however, hugely implore and stand up with anyone that has been impacted with us in our workplace. Please feel free to share that. This is how we would like you to share that. Do you know what? Post it in response to this public tweet so people can see that we have a paper trail that they can hold us to task for. There is none of that. Not that I'm thinking tweeting, that's just me thinking off the top of my head. It's a shit example of making things have a paper trail and holding them accountable. But there is no semblance of accepting any form of responsibility here, and that's the issue for me. I'm not saying yeah, okay, that's it, I'm guilty, Your Honour, because obviously they can't necessarily do that because they've been taken to court. You're kind of just setting yourself up there, even as a business. That's purely business conversations. But it's just the complete deniability. No, we not us. You've got it completely wrong. We've set up all sorts of stuff. We're actually really nice. I know you think we're evil, but we're good. Trust me, mate. Just trust me. Just trust me. Who's the source? Just trust me. And it's that I would obviously, for something like this, it's difficult to not form an opinion, particularly if you're seeing people with stories as horrendous as the ones that are coming out today, such as an employee having to end her own life to ease the shit that she's been put through. If things are that bad, it's kind of hard to not form an opinion. Part of me wants to keep balance in my head, at least, like giving them some benefit of the doubt in a corner of my mind, going, okay, well, and if you're saying that's the case, I will keep an open mind once the evidence is presented. But it's just a complete lack of humanity in there. Nope, we have good HR. Nope, we have good staff. Nope, we're actually all fine. And actually, you're all entirely wrong. Is not that. There is no understanding, no human, no moral compass in there. It's just that, yeah, actually, it works fine, mate. Is it though? Is it though? Because we've all seen members of staff, existing and previous, I imagine, across social media today, saying that they will verify that this sort of stuff heavily existed. And they've basically said, yeah, there was something, but it's fixed. you don't just fix like intrinsic systemic injustice and discrimination like that by just adding in one like what's the word I'm looking for? I can't remember a team. You can't just go, okay, you deploy your team, and there you go, a task force. That's the word I was looking for. You can't just throw one task force at it, and then that's it. Discrimination is gone. If that was the case, racism wouldn't exist in the world. It's not that easy. Discrimination wouldn't exist in the world. It's not that easy. You can't just whittle it out. A lot of it is people unaware as well that they are overtly in the wrong because that's behavior that they've been treated to be thinking is acceptable. There's a lot you can't just say, oh, that's wrong, because they've got to question their moral fabrics, and they should, because they've been brought up in a world that's allowed them to feel that cubicle crawling is acceptable. If they think that's acceptable, then there's more than just saying, actually, that's not acceptable. You need to break down the why and how they've got to that point in time. No task force in a couple of months could ever unpin that. So for them to just go, actually, it's bullshit. That's the bullshit. So yeah, not good enough. Like I say, part of me wants to, for the basis of a podcast discussion, take their point and run with that. But I'm not interested. There's just no acceptance whatsoever there. And I know this is kind of a little cheesy tangent, and probably not doing it justice because we're talking the world of esports. But then again, it's not esports. It was social acceptance and discrimination. But Activision Blizzard have previous with not really giving a fuck about social messaging and acceptance, because I mean, does anyone remember the Blitzchung story that we hammered on about for about 6 weeks, when someone had the nerve to stand up for the rights of humans in China, and it was like, okay, no, fuck that shit. We're Activision Blizzard, we'll just kill everything out. We stand for hope and integrity and inclusion and diversity and all this other stuff, unless it impacts on the bottom line. So then we'll just get rid of it and just push people out and ban people and shit. This we appreciate inclusion and diversity and stuff, but we're not actually going to acknowledge any of it because we don't have any of it. We're all fine. Do you really appreciate diversity and inclusion and all that sort of stuff? If that is the case, nah.
I'm going to argue not.
Exactly. Mr. T says, this type of response makes me angry, proving at these types of companies, HR is there to protect the company and not the employees. And that is absolutely the case in big companies. Not all of them, but a lot of big companies employ HR departments. And the idea of a HR department is that they look after the best interests of the human resources, i.e. the people in the business. But a lot of HR departments are very well aware that they are part of the corporate machine. They are not on a separate wage packet. And if they do something for the betterment of the people at the detriment of the business, that could put their job at risk, and all of the people. So they will go, actually, do you know what? Being public about this sort of stuff will massively impact the business and could make people lose their job. So actually, being quiet about this is better for them in the long run. I mean, I see where you're going with the logic, but no.
It's just so because people can't rip apart what it is that they're going to be saying, because if they do say anything if they say something that doesn't fit what everyone else is going to be saying, all the accusations that have been paid to it, they'll be made to think that they're ignoring the problem rather than actually talking about it, which for them would probably be a better thing, but not for everybody else who's there. Like you said, if a HR's main priority is usually to look after the staff, but instead they're kind of taking the PR route, the HR/PR, because they need to look after the company. That's the exact opposite reason of why HR's there and why PR, the marketing PR department are there. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, that's it though. That someone's
to fail for that.
Someone's got the H and then just taken like one of the bits off and put it on the top, and suddenly that HR looks incredibly like PR. You're looking about your outward messaging rather than your internal structure and mental and physical health and well-being of your staff. It's bullshit. It's just bullshit. Next Gen Base says, I need to disappear, lads. Getting a fresh trim for tonight's stream. Ooh, beautiful. Wow, wow, wow.
Yeah.
I've been really trying to hold back this haircut for so long. But it's getting long. Wow. Okay. Just trying to lighten the
Yes,
conversation a little bit, and so thank you. I'll take that as a compliment. But yes, just want to say yes, babe. Thank you for saying that. I'm a straight white dude who doesn't face this shit, but if it happens, I'll speak up. We all need to do that. Mad says that's a strongly worded response. I'm at a loss how to react to it. To be honest, it's just a big F you to the allegations. Jeez. And then on the subject of Blitzchung, that guy is still banned and denied his rightful pay. That was and still is a shit show. Hypocrisy at its finest by Blizzard. That's the point. I mean, Blitzchung was a competitor who won a competition, and in his post victory interview, he said, "What was it? China Revolution of our age," or something like that. It was may not be word for word, but that was about the length of the quote that he said, which caused him to be banned from playing Hearthstone forever. Pretty much, they took his winnings and everything off him because he said "Revolution of our age" in support of his own people. That's not a political statement. I mean, that's what. Do you know what? I'm not even going to get into that. Is that a political or not statement? It's someone making a statement that is socially impactful on his life, and you saw how they've handled that. It absolutely is in line with how they're handling this. So complete shit show. Activision staff. Do you know what? I hope you're all looked after, and I hope that all these messages that your PR teams / HR teams, I don't know, interchangeable these days. I hope that the outward messages that they're putting out are true, and I hope you are taken care of. I genuinely don't believe that is the case, or if it is the case, it's definitely not the case across the board. Or at least it doesn't appear that way. Anyway, we will keep you up to date with updates to this. No doubt there will be a lot over the next 24 hours. So we'll keep you up, or we'll bring it back in next week and see where things sit. It could go quiet because it is a lawsuit, naturally. The amount of official information that does come out tends to dry up when there's a lawsuit because people don't want to risk, obviously, what's it, contempt of court? Is that what it's called? No, I don't know. So yeah, it may dry up. We may lose the story for a few weeks and or months or wherever until it actually comes back. But we will keep you updated with things as they do progress. Anyway, I'm not going to apologise for starting off with such a heavy story because it absolutely deserves talking about. But how can I say this without undermining other bits? Well, let's just move on to something that's not as deep for you this morning. Obviously, some people are going through some horrendous shit. Hopefully, we can distract you with some of it. Not entirely. Do keep your focus on it, but hopefully, we can distract you with some of bits. Is what I'm trying to say. Matt Wales at Eurogamer says Amazon responds after reports its MMO New World is bricking pricey RTX 3090 cards. Quote, "We believe this is related with driver settings and frame rate limiters." So yesterday saw the beta launch of Amazon's much delayed MMO New World, and early gameplay reports have been generally positive. Considerably less positive, however, are the increasing number of posts from players saying that New World has also successfully managed to brick their pricey RTX 3090 graphics cards, an issue Amazon has now gone some way to acknowledging on its official support forum. It's absolutely bricked mine, by the way. So Amazon, if you want to send me a replacement RTX 3090, I will take. I actually had two in the same PC, and it bricked both of them. Do you know, if you just want to send one to my house, I'll pick the other one up from Bibby's house. Just send one each house. Yeah, nice. Word of New World's potentially hardware busting abilities first surfaced on the MMO's dedicated subreddit. Quote, "I just bricked a 3090 in the main menu after setting my graphics quality to medium and hitting save," wrote user Grey178. "Can't believe it. Anyone else had a catastrophic failure like this?" Multiple reasons seem to confirm that, yes, this isn't an isolated issue, and further reports of RTX 3090 malfunctions after playing New World, primarily seeming to impact cards made by EVGA, began to spread to Twitter and beyond, along with speculation the problem may be the result of power spikes and overheating caused by uncapped frame rates in the game's menus. For a while, Amazon remained silent on the issue, but a post from a customer service rep over on New World's game support forum has now acknowledged the MMO can cause 100% GPU usage on EVGA RTX 3090 graphics cards, pointing the finger of blame at, quote, driver settings and frame rate limiters, end quote. The rep offered two solutions in their post, suggesting RTX 3090 users disable overrides in their card's driver settings and cap their FPS to 60 in the visual settings before restarting the New World game client. Quote, "This will help prevent issues with the GP's utilization," explained the rep. In response to the post, some users have suggested overheating and crashing issues persist on a range of different cards, not just the EVGA model specified, even with default settings enabled and the frame rate capped at 60 FPS. As such, owners of high-end graphics cards may still want to exercise a degree of caution and wait for further updates from Amazon if they're considering putting New World's beta through its paces. Do you know what? If you're interested in playing New World, you may be, beneficial from getting new cards because it's not looking good. It's not looking good. If you want to play New World, do you know what? I have New World. I only have a 1080, so I don't have to worry about the 3090 stuff. I have New World. I have it downloaded, installed, not played yet. But if I had an RTX 3090, with how they are like unicorn turds, you can't get hold of one at all. So if my option was to play that game and potentially risk bricking that, it would be insta-deleted off my PC and never to be seen again until I got confirmation from Amazon that they've absolutely 100% fixed that issue beyond a shadow of a doubt. But anyway, Bib, with your 3 RTX 3090 PC power rig that you've got just off screen, would you be loading up New World on that?
Not if I knew it was a massive problem, because it does say that it's a certain manufacturer. Is it like EVGA something? I can't. Yeah, it's just that particular model. If I had that, then probably not. I mean, the worrying thing is they've not even tried to play it on ultra graphics. They've just loaded it up
medium
as a medium. Yeah, they've loaded it up on medium. They're not even trying to break it. They're not trying to utilize the full power of that graphics card, and it still managed to fuck it up. So probably not great. No, I'll be avoiding installing or running this game at any cost.
Gary says, this story made me laugh. The news came out about this, and I see you were like, who wants a code? The thing is, shitloads of people wanted the code. So many different people were messaging me. I was like, it's going into Discord, so we have one code left. So we got 5 codes. I took one, obviously, Baby took one. And then we offered it to friends of ICU first. So we mentioned it in the stream for people that watch. So Beans TV and Next Gen Base took one. And then the other one we dropped in Discord last night. So we don't know who's had that one. But the one that we dropped in Discord last night, shitloads of people were messaging me. Rich Lock, who's an industry photographer, was asking me for it. I think Bibby's mentioned Paul.
Yeah, Paul was messaging me. Like giving me loads of shit, saying that I thought we was MMO buddies. Unlucky lad. But yeah, there's like we had people messaging us left, right, and center asking for the code. It's like we're giving it to people who support this community. Do you know what I mean? Why would we not? Why would we not do that? It's all right looking after your friends and stuff like that, but you guys sort us out every single day by turning up to the scoop. So obviously we're going to help you guys out as well.
Goddamn right. But also, the reason we're giving it away because there's only like 6 people in the world that have RTX 3090s, right? Well, it seems like that. Fucking, you think PS5's hard to get hold of? Try and get hold of one of those. Although there's actually shitloads of them available on Facebook. They're just 12,000 times the price that you would normally pay for them. Fuckers. But yes, it's actually not just the EVGA cards, by the way, but you disappeared out of the room at that point in time, but towards the end of the article, yeah, but I thought it was the case. Bibby's room is like an absolute sweatbox, so he's had 12,000 litres already today.
Yeah. And I've still got yellow piss. Work that one out.
Just to recycle the pun that I made off stream. All right, Chris Martin. And my piss was all yellow too. You're welcome. But yes, in response to the post, some users suggested overheating and crashing. Lost my pen. Issues persist on a range of different cards, not just the EVGA model specified, even with default settings enabled and the frame rate capped at 60 FPS. So yeah, any cards could potentially be at risk for this. So I think maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's some RTX-ish. I don't know. I'm
reading the comments, and people have been going through the Reddits to try and find a reason because they're saying it can't 100% just be the game and a particular graphics card. And some people are saying, reading through the Reddit, and it started that players with non-bricked cards have seen some strange temperature and power spikes. Isn't it more likely that the game is doing something strange with the power curve?
It's
maybe.
It's interesting as well. Like that. I'm assuming that was the Rogie One comment that was there. I'll put it back on the screen. So this is Rogie One in the comments of the chat. So he's trying to rationalise it, saying it can't just be the fact that it's 100%. It's got to do something with the power curves, this, that, and the other. And then he says, and I say all of the above as the owner of a Pallet 3090 who won't be going anywhere near New Worlds. I mean, that just shows you. That just shows you. I mean, as much as you can rationalise it, you're like, yeah, that's my kid. There's no way I'm throwing my kid into a potential fire. Fuck that shit. So, I mean, it makes sense, but no.
The 67 upvotes, clearly everybody else is thinking the same thing. And the 67 upvotes are from 3090 owners. They're like, no, I'm not fucking touching that. I'm glad I didn't get any codes. But anyway.
So, yeah, if you're thinking of playing New World and you've got a code from us, then if it kills it, then it's entirely Amazon's fault and not us. Nice. Okay, nice.
We have no liability.
Yeah, exactly. If we brick your PC, then unlucky. Sorry, it's only jealousy. It purely comes from a place of jealousy. We don't have 3090s, and that's what it is. That's what it is. Tell you what,
if someone does have a spare 3090 or an i7 Intel Core CPU that has just got knocking around or anything like that, I would be very grateful.
Do you know what?
Might blow up if you try to run it.
We don't want to be dismissive. I mean, if you've got any i9s as well lying around, feel free to send them over. Whatever. All your gifted subs, feel free to send them over. As Mr. Garlic Clark has just gifted a sub to Sammy J. Enjoy the gifty Sammy J. Mr. Gary Clark with 13 gifted subs in the channel now. That is ridiculous. Thank you very much, Gary. Appreciate that very much. What a guy. Speaking of Gary, says, my piss looked like Gatorade last night. The dehydration got me good. What, the blue one?
Honestly,
that's Powerade. That's Powerade. I'll let you off.
It genuinely doesn't matter how much you're drinking at the moment. You can say keep hydrated as much as you want. You could constantly have a flow of liquids going through your mouth and it still won't matter. Your piss is still going to be a completely different colour. It's just far too dehydrated.
Updating the discussion now. Nice done. Nice. Okay. So yeah, we can't really confirm on the 3090s stuff with New World because we do have New World, but we don't have 3090s. But what we do have is mobiles. Nice cheesy tangent into the next story. As Andy Robinson of VGC says, Netflix has confirmed it's expanding into games, starting with mobile. Just on that bombshell, Mr. T says, can't leave it at 13. That's an unlucky number. Come on, Garlic Clark. That's true. Do you know what? That is true, Gary. We don't want you to be at risk, so feel free to just drop another gift. Oh, he did as well. What a guy.
What a shagger.
Oh.
You're earning far too much money, you like.
Honestly. Living his best life out there, which is paying for Bibby to live his best life. That's another wing being added to the Bibby mansion. Yeah. Kulan, enjoy the gifted sub. If you guys that get gifted are in the chat, obviously do feel free to say thank you. It's just nice. Which Sammy J just did. What a guy. But back into the news then. Netflix has confirmed it's expanding into games, starting with mobile. Games will initially focus on mobile and be included at no additional cost. The company says games will initially focus on mobile and be included at no additional cost. So is that two separate instances? The games will initially focus on mobile and be free, or will the games be initially on mobile and initially free? I don't know. Interesting. So will they charge for that later on? I don't know. Let's jump in. I don't know if they do. I genuinely haven't read through the article, so we'll find out together. Streaming giant Netflix has officially confirmed it's expanding into video games. In its latest financial results published on Tuesday, the company said it was currently in the early stages of expanding into games, building on its earlier efforts around interactive television like Black Mirror, Bandersnatch, and its Stranger Things games. Games will be included in members' Netflix subscription at no additional cost, the company said. And initially, it will be primarily focused on games for mobile devices. We view gaming as another new content category for us, similar to our expansion into original films, animation, and unscripted TV, Netflix said in a letter to shareholders. We're excited as ever about our movies and TV series offering, and we expect a long runway of increasing investment and growth across all of our existing categories. But since we're nearly a decade into our push into original programming, we think it's the right time to learn more about how our members value games. Last week, it emerged that Netflix had appointed former Electronic Arts and Facebook executive Mike Verdu to work on a video game-related initiative. A Bloomberg report claimed that Netflix intended to add video games to its streaming platform within the next 12 months, presented as a new programming genre. The company isn't currently planning to charge extra for access to the games, the report added, although the new content may help it justify subscription price rises further down the line. Netflix is said to now be recruiting for game development-related roles, although it's claimed the California-based company has yet to decide on an actual game development strategy. The company had previously suggested that it saw entering the games market as a significant challenge. Speaking in 2019, CEO Reed Hastings claimed Netflix had no intention to create a game streaming service. Quote, "We don't compete with Fortnite by..." Actually, I'll leave this because we covered this the other day. They think they're better off competing for people's time by creating video content, TV content, or at least that's what it was. Maybe not the case anymore. Netflix is expanding into games, starting with mobile. What are your thoughts, babe?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool that you're going to be getting it included in your Netflix subscription, but like I say, they are going to end up, they're going to get that bottom line from somewhere else. Whether or not they increase your, I think it's £10 a month now for Netflix. They increase it to £15, or they just make you have Netflix games, and then it's like a £5 subscription for the month, like Apple Arcade or something like that. So essentially, what they're trying to make is a Game Pass where they're going to be housing other people's games, or is it just going to be their games? That's the thing that I need to know more about.
Yeah, this is it's kind of interesting because are we seeing Netflix like they're based in what did they say, California?
California, yeah, yeah.
So are we gonna have like we've got PUBG Studios in Santa Monica? They opened up a California studio. Are we gonna get Netflix Studios in Santa Monica, which is their development sort of team, or are they gonna be first party in terms of like PlayStation obviously develop their own games for their own platforms, but they don't necessarily have to. You could, in theory, have third parties develop your games. That's where the diversity and having a rich portfolio comes from. The fact that EA and Bethesda-ish and Ubisoft and Devolver and Mediatonic and whatever, they all create brands for PlayStation. PlayStation doesn't have to do all of the games themselves. Same thing with Xbox. So in theory, Netflix could get away with that, but this is where we get to the Stadia sort of thing. The reason we think Stadia is a little bit gosh, and we can say that because we own 2 Stadia and never use them because it's gosh. It just doesn't offer anything. There is no USB. Also, it's gosh. There's no USB to play on a Stadia. Why would I go and play on Stadia and start my progression again on PUBG when I can just play it on my PS5? Why would I do that? That's just madness. I have an Xbox that I'm not playing it on. Why would I want to get a Stadia where I can not play it as well? So if Netflix just gives me the same thing again, why am I doing this? So surely you've got to feel they're talking about original content. They mentioned that multiple times in this article. So Netflix has to surely do some original content. Be that through a third party, so you'll get I mean, is that second party? Is that what we class as second party? So first party getting a third party to make games exclusively for their platform. Is that second party? I can't.
think so, yeah.
So are we looking at second party games? So kind of like we had with Sunset Overdrive being Xbox made by Insomniac, that kind of relationship where they get them to make a game for that platform specifically. In Insomniac making Spider-Man for PlayStation before being bought out, that kind of thing. Maybe, or will they go the whole hog and buy up studios? I mean, everyone else is buying up studios. Maybe Netflix have gone, oh shit, Xbox are after it, PlayStation are after it. Maybe we need to snap up some studios too. So maybe that's what they'll do. They'll buy a few to have that sort of stuff in-house. So Netflix to Netclicks or Netsticks. Hey! Nice. You got to appreciate it. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, would you guys play games on Netflix? Would you like it just to get a few extra titles on your mobile? How could you see it working beyond that, though? Will the Netflix app become a launcher? Surely that won't work on PlayStation and Xbox. I mean, definitely not on PlayStation. I mean, Netflix, could that be bundled into Xbox Game Pass somehow? I don't know. Surely that's kind of at loggerheads to what Netflix would want to be doing. So where do we play these games? So they're going to start with mobile. Is that because it's kind of going to be difficult to get onto the consoles? I mean, PC and having a browser-based app, potentially, where you can launch games. But I could see Xbox trying to sort some sort of relationship out, maybe. It does kind of go against Game Pass, though. If you're paying for the Game Pass subscription, why would you pay for the Netflix subscription for games? So I'm not sure about that. And PlayStation don't play well at the moment anyway with anyone apart from Discord, so it seems.
Yeah.
So could Netflix work there? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where this is going. It could go anywhere, and it could absolutely make me go, oh fuck, did not see that coming. Because at the moment, I just do not see wherever it goes, it's going to catch me off guard because I can't see where they're going to go unless they just go mobile, desktop, and browser. If that's what they go for, then okay, that's nice. It's not really full market. It's kind of a bit. That's enough to get missed by the mainstream. It's enough to have a massive, massive audience, but it's also enough to miss the mainstream quite easily there. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I can't see where this sits. NetGames sounds shit. NetGames sounds like it was a developer, like of early SNES games or something like that. NetGames. But yeah, on that bombshell, let's move ahead. One final story. It's not Friday, so we bring you Free Game Thursday. Yay! If you want some free games, then we got you. Sherif Saed actually has you. This is his article from VG247. It says Battlefield 1 is free on Amazon Prime Gaming now, and Battlefield 5 is next. Both confirmed to brick your RTX. No, I'm joking. It's not. It's different. It's better news from Amazon in this story. As obviously you can get Battlefield 1 for free, and Battlefield 5 is up next. So let's jump into the article, which is probably going to echo. Yep, it's echoing exactly what I've just said twice. Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5 are coming to Amazon Prime Gaming, just in case you didn't catch it. Battlefield 4 is clearly not the last Prime Gaming Battlefield freebie because Amazon announced today that Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5 will soon follow. Starting today and until August the 4th, Prime Gaming members will be available. Good evening. They will be available to claim a free PC copy of Battlefield 1, redeemable on Origin. Then, on August the 2nd until October the 1st, Battlefield 5 becomes available for free. I'm going to keep going that now. Available is going to be the word throughout the rest of the article. Good evening. You'll be claiming the standard edition for either game. This means it does not include DLC for Battlefield 1, whereas this matters less in Battlefield 5's case, as all of its meaningful content was made available for free. Ahead of the release of Battlefield 2042, now is probably a good time to return to these older Battlefield games. If the Battlefield 4 freebie is any indication, this will likely attract plenty of players, enough to revive the population for a few weeks, though we do hope servers can sustain the load this time. Head over to Prime Gaming's main page to claim those games. The link is in the article there. Prime Gaming is included in your Amazon Prime subscription, and it's also available as I mixed it up. It's also available as part of Prime Video in countries where Prime proper is not available. Other things may or not be available wherever they are available to you. Anyway, so to summarize, these games are available right now. Battlefield 1 is free on Prime Gaming right now, and then Battlefield 5 is... I didn't speak to you, Alexa. Go away. And Battlefield 5 is up next. Honestly, I've said the word Amazon too much. Alexa just woke up. I don't want you to be available. Go away. Fancy some Battlefield, babe?
Do you know what? I wish they would have given away Battlefield Bad Company 2.
Oh.
That would have been great. Just get that server back up and running again because... I mean, it's not as if the servers have gone down. You go onto it and it's just a ghost town. It's probably like the same 34...
20,000 people used to live here, and now it's just a ghost town. It's a different game, babe. Different series, mate.
massive different series. You know, when the haters coming for you now. But yeah, if they could have given away Bad Company 2, that would have been fantastic. Just get like 400, 500, 600 people back into those arenas again, and it would have been great. So please, I beg you, please just give that away. I've got it. I will reinstall it right now if you said that you were going to give it away, because I would like to play on a server full of enough people to run a proper server.
Oh, imagine. Genuinely, for those that haven't played it, I imagine a lot of people haven't played it because obviously the popularity of gaming has increased massively over the last few years. Plus, we old as fuck. But Battlefield Bad Company 2, one of the best shooting games that you will ever play, without a doubt. Haven't played it in a million years though, so maybe there's a chance it might not have aged well, but it was just so well balanced that I'd be surprised if that is the case. But you don't have to worry about that. Do you know what? Let's leave Bad Company 2 alone, but not for much because it's lovely. And Battlefield 1 and 5 are/will be free if you have Amazon Prime. If you do have Amazon Prime, head over to the link in the bottom of this article. I will give you the link directly in the chat for those that haven't had it. So the link there in the chat. Scroll right down to the bottom to the Prime Gaming main page where you can claim those games. Also, just a reminder as well that if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to the channel absolutely free, absolutely free, as good old Vincent Fallow says in the voiceover for our channel video. Absolutely free. Do you know what? You can get yourself a sub for this channel. 2 ways free. First of all, just stick around. Just watch for long enough and you get channel points. The channel points are down in the bottom corner down there. If you watch for long enough, you get enough channel points to buy yourself a sub. Or buy someone else a sub. Elf? Yeah, buy an elf a sub. If you want, you can buy a sub for whoever, as long as they've got a Twitch account. So either yourself or for someone else, we will pay for a sub if you've been around for long enough. If you don't want to use your channel points for that and you want to use it for other things, that's fine. You can still get a sub to the channel for free by subscribing to Amazon Prime. Every Amazon Prime user gets a free sub every month. Just make sure you use it, because if not, you're just losing stuff. You're paying for stuff that you're not using. And you could benefit either us or another channel. Find another small streamer out there and just throwing that gifted sub at them it'll mean the world. It'll mean the world. But on that bombshell, we are going to disappear. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us. As mentioned, there's probably not going to be an afternoon stream today, but that will be compensated by the fact that we do have an evening stream. So tonight, myself, Bib, Mr. T, and Ben from Next Gen Base will all be live on Twitch from around 6 p.m. for another Ice Cream Uploads. Watch along. That's the word I was looking for. I was just trying to debate whether I should flick into the watch along screen to give you a look at it, but it's not going to work because there's not got 4 cams. Bibby's face will be in the wrong place and stuff. So I'll leave it. But yeah, we'll be live for another watch along tonight. EA Play Live is taking place from around 6 p.m. That's the pre-show. So we imagine around 2 hours. Pre-show and then full show. It could be a little bit longer. It could be a little bit shorter. We will see. But stick around. Make sure you get yourself some drinks, some snacks, and we'll join you from 6 p.m. tonight on Twitch for a 4-way. Not like that. Not like that. God. What do you guys think? What are you thinking? I mean, Mr. T's jumped straight in there with Dead Space. Could we see some Dead Space? Are we going to get one Dead Space game, or is there going to be a remake plus a new Dead Space game? Are we going to see some skate stuff? I think that one's already been squashed. I don't think we're going to see any skate stuff, if I'm right. Or have I? I don't know, actually.
Yeah, they're not going to be showing anything.
Yeah, we did see... Was it... there's been a few games that have said that they aren't going to be... Sims! Yeah, there's going to be Sims. There's always the Sims. They can't not be the Sims. But sports games, all those bits, we'll have it all. We'll have it all. And we'll run through it with you guys live on stream. I may be sat more like this. So my arm is resting to the side. I tend to sit like this anyway, but I had my second COVID jab today. So my arm is now starting to go numb. So I keep putting it on the chair there so it's sat still. But yeah, feel free to join us 6 p.m. tonight. We'll watch through that. Mission Kid Pez, thank you very much for the follow. Change your name, though. Mission Kid eFootball now, mate. Honestly, keep up with the times. God, I'm joking. Welcome into the stream. How you doing? If you want to speak Pez, by the way, join us tonight. We'll be talking through EA and EA Play. No doubt there'll be some FIFA stuff in there, and we can have chats about PES as we go, just like we spoke about FIFA as we're talking about PES through yesterday's news announcement. So feel free to come back tonight. 6 p.m. we will be live for the EA Play live stream with Asim Tanvir and Ben from Next Gen Base. Mission Kid Pez says, what you guys think of Forza 5? I didn't really play it. I'm not a big racing game. Bib, thoughts?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, Forza 5 is the new one coming out, right?
Oh, is it? Okay, I don't know. I see the Horizon.
Forza
That's
Horizon,
what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Actually, no, it looked really good. It did look really good. Now I remember. Now I know what we're talking about. It looked really good. That was the one that had like, it almost looked like, what's the word? Like it had more story to the driving around kind of stuff. So yeah, the graphics and everything looked really cool. Had the way that you go from like cutscene straight into it looked decent.
Need that. Said I need that.
For sure. PES 2021, greatest football game ever made. They killed the franchise. PES 2021 is not PES 5, mate. That's the greatest football game ever made. I got you. Don't worry. Logic bombs. And back. Saw some gifted subs. Yes. Mr. Garlic Clark, just throwing the money left, right, and centre. He's been hanging around with Baby 2 Lambos too often. He's just you get a gifted sub. But we are going to finish it up. Fire and Blood 165, thank you very much for the follow. As mentioned, we are back at 6 p.m. tonight. If we do not have any streams before then, which is probably not the case, we'll be back at 6 p.m. tonight. And then back again 10 a.m. ish tomorrow. Just a heads up, I may not be on the scoop tomorrow because I am AFK. If I'm awake, I'm full on lying in tomorrow. If I'm awake, I'm going to be on the scoop. If I'm not, it'll be solo dollop from the bib. But before we have to consider tonight's 6 p.m. stream, Bibby coming back with a dollop potentially at 10 a.m. tomorrow, is there anything else, Mr. Bib, that you'd like to add?
Yeah, if you want to help shape our show, then there's 2 ways you can do that. First of all, find us on social media at Ice Cream Upwards across all major social media platforms, or get involved with our Discord. If you are watching this on any of our on-demand services, please use the links in the description below. All we need from you is a URL plus your thoughts and impressions. I will give you my thoughts and impressions, or potentially we, tomorrow morning.
You're going to wee tomorrow morning?
Mr. Graham Day.
Well, after Bibby's potentially finished his wee tomorrow morning, we could be live at 10 a.m. Ish. Caveat, we do go live at 10 a.m. We work in the video games industry. That stuff comes first. So we do like to stream for you guys, but we have to fit it in around work, which is why we appreciate you all being here whenever we do go live, because we know it's not consistent, and that will just be the shape of things until we have 72 bajillion followers and this is a full-time thing, then yeah, nice. But for now, we do work in the video games industry. So appreciate you joining us at 10 a.m. each and every single weekday. We do have an emote. We have 2 emotes for that, one of which is animated, which Gary has just thrown into the chat. Thank you very much, Gary. Appreciate that. Enzo, hey, long live Pez. What is this piece you talk about? Peas? I don't know what this is. Did that used to be a game? Get out of here. Get out. I'm joking. Terry on the cover. I still got that PES 5 legendary, mate. Absolutely. I have. Do you know it's not PES 5? I think I've shown. Do you know what? I'll show you some other time. I'll show you some other time. We're going to finish up. Appreciate you being here. We'll be back at 6 o'clock tonight for EA Play Live. Me and Mr. Babe joined by Mr. T and Mr. Ben. Not Mr. Ben, because that's a TV program. Anyway, do you know what? You get it. Have a lovely day. We'll see you tonight. Until then, stay frosty.